You're listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast hosted by Matt Franks and Zach Bechtold. We hope you enjoy this week's show, and you can find out more about us by going online at beardedtheologians.com, where you can pick up a few t-shirts, listen to a few old episodes, and find ways that you can connect with us. Thank you for listening. You're listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast hosted by Matt Franks
and Zach Bechtold.
So this week, as we were playing, what are we going to talk about today? We found ourselves landing. Golly, that was.
How do you spell that?
Wow, like, woo! More coffee for me today. We found ourselves landing on Psalm 47. So Zach, do you want to read that for us today?
I do. Psalm 47, for the music leader, a psalm of the Korahites. Verse 1, clap your hands, all you people. Shout joyfully to God with a joyous shout. Because the Lord Most High is awesome. He is the great King of the whole world, and he subdues the nations under us, subdues all the people beneath our feet. He chooses our inheritance for us, the hide of Jacob, which he loves. God has gone up with a joyous shout, the Lord with the blast of the ram's horn. Sing praises to God. Sing praises. Sing praises to our King. Sing praises because God is King of the whole world. Sing praises with a song of instruction. God is King over the nation, and God sits on his holy throne. The leaders of all people are gathered with the people of Abraham's God because the earth's guardians belong to God. God is exalted beyond all. So, Matt, as you hear that psalm and you dance joyously, what sticks out to you?
That God's influence. I'll use that. I like that. God's influence is here even today, and we should be excited about that if we're listening to it and they're receiving the joy. I read the scripture last night or yesterday for our the retirement service that I get to do every so often, and I found myself saying these words that one we should be excited about God's influence in our life. Like if we're really leaning into it and trusting it, and because if we lean into that, then man, it makes us happy. Like things go well, even in the midst of struggle. And what was interesting is the woman came up to me after the service and was like, I needed to hear this psalm today. We've have a difficult decision with my sister, and that knowing that even in the midst of the sorrow, that I should be giving shout that God is with us in the midst of this, even as things are not going well. We know it's a good reminder that God is with us. And I just love this, like the idea of clapping. Like, I don't know. This is one of those things where when people get upset about music in worship or things like that, that this is one of those calls like, no, we should be singing praises, and that sort of thing. And to me, that's where, when I hear this psalm, that's what comes to mind more than anything, is that our excitement for God's kingdom and influence on us right here and right now is exciting, and we should be here for it. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean that's what the Psalms are, right? They're songs and poems of both joy and lament and everything in between. And we often lean into the more well-known Psalms. And this one, uh, I don't know that I've ever read this one intentionally, right? Like I've read it, but I don't know that I've ever focused on it. And so it's fun. It's fun to hear just kind of a psalm right there in the middle of the book that's just a happy, kind of happy-go-lucky psalm. But what caught my attention was kind of the back end of it, verses 8 and 9. God is king over all the nations. God sits on his holy throne. The leader of all peoples are gathered with the people of Abraham's God because the earth's guardians belong to God. God is exalted beyond all. And for me, that's an early on, not deviation, from God's favor over the Israelites, because so much of what we read, especially through Psalms, is God's relationship with the Israelites, with the Hebrew people. And here you have a really specific thing or theme of it's all people. It's not the separation of Jew and Gentile or Israelite and others. It's God. God sits on a throne, the leader of all people, is the king over all nations. And I don't know, that catches my attention as a really kind of early on. Maybe not early on. We're halfway through the Hebrew Bible there, but definitely an intentional moment of God's love and grace is for all people, in a really intentional way behind that, and singing this song, and a song that um, this group of people would have sang and shared with their community and done in a way that brought God's love and grace in light for everyone that was around. And yeah, I mean that always tends to catch my eye, especially throughout the Hebrew Bible. Of, ooh, there it is. That's We have this theme throughout that God's love and grace is for all people, right? Not just a certain group or the people who get it right, or the special ones. That there's this through line throughout all of Scripture that God's love is there, and I think this is another example of that.
Well, it's not only that. It's not just that God's love is there, it's that God is in control
Hmm.
and that it's going to be okay, that God's got this. And that I love the line in there. I don't know why at three. He subdues the nations under us. He subdues all the people beneath our feet. Like I don't know. I like that word subdue. Just kind of, I don't know. It just seems it's one of those words that's kind of interesting.
It is an interesting word.
But I do agree that like the idea of God's love is like prevalent for all people.
Hmm.
And and the common English translated is because the in verse 2, because the Lord's most high is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Is and I You and I both come from spaces where we cannot hear awesome God and not think of the telecommercial of when they would
Hmm.
sing, "Our God
Hmm.
is an awesome
Yeah, don't go
God."
past 10 seconds. We
I
can't
know.
afford it.
And then just hearing the people clap their hands, and
Right.
I I don't know about you, Zach, but did you also grow up with not with the verse before the chorus, the angriness?
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
there's a sense of I love that song. I love Rich Mullins and what he did with that. But like
Hmm.
to like that has their whole verse that has literally dissipated. Like we don't sing that. Like when was the
Right.
last time you heard that sung in a church? Like I don't.
I've never asked for it.
Well, I know I never asked for it, but I there's a sense of that if you don't know that
Mhm.
whole opening verse, like go and research that because we're not going to sing it or say it because we don't want to pay for it. But there is a sense of God's power and might in that, and then
Mhm.
it leads into this idea of God being awesome, and really like God is an awesome God. And how would we say that in today's like teenage kids language,
Well,
Zach?
I don't even know. And I think that's where wordplay is funny, right? Like I talk a lot about words and language, and words matter, and what we read. You and I have talked a lot on this podcast about the Hebrew Bible and the word fear, and respect being a more uh, likely word for that. But when we translate it into the English, it begins to mean something a skosh different, right? Because of our context and everything. I think awesome is the same thing, right? What we understand awesome today isn't necessarily the same way. Like it's awesome is still awesome, right? But you break down that word and something is full of awe, right? Um, and I think when we think about awesome, because the Lord on the Most High is awesome. Well, yeah, he's pretty cool, but you break that down into awe, and that word means a little different, right? Like the awe that God has, and the aura, just that presence that God takes up in those moments, is a lot more significant than I think the word awesome today means, right? And so, um, Yeah, I catches my attention. I like it. I think it's fun. It's
So
fun wordplay.
when I asked the AIs to give me an example of it, and
Hmm.
they use the word influencer, you
Well,
could actually make that work. Our
you could.
God is an influencer. No, yeah,
Eh,
it's a stretch. Hey,
it's a
I mean,
stretch.
if we can use power, PWR,
Sure.
and hymns and things like that, I think we could make the influencer work.
I mean, the theological ramifications of God just being an influencer is
Well,
hard.
it is for you who grew up in the 80s, but for
Yes.
the like it tracks for those. Like it is truly it makes sense. At least we probably should get a teen in here to explain that to us.
We should, but I wouldn't understand anything they're saying. So,
Well, I know.
no, I don't know. I'm with you. I like this psalm. I think it sticks out just in the midst of what the psalms are and what the writers are doing there. Because often it's not often, half the time it's, "Oh God, where are you? Why have you abandoned us?" And the other half of the time it's like, "Hey God, you're pretty great. Like things are going well. We're super pumped that you're around." But this one sticks out a little bit more in the sense of like I said, what originally caught my attention of there's no us and them language in this one. There's no special favor with God and certain groups of people. It is just simply out there that here God is for everyone. And to me, that makes it a pretty special psalm, but one that we can definitely continue to sing and find some joy in.
So Zach, um, you know what's interesting about this is that um, this is used for Ascension Day, the day of Ascension,
Hmm.
which is today, Thursday. And that's the day that where Jesus says, "Hey guys, I let you know what to do. I'm out. I'll see you later, but you're
Right.
not alone." But I love how, like, if you were to preach, if you had an Ascension service or you were doing Ascension Sunday, to tying this in to talking about how God is with us and amazing and all that stuff. I think that that's a cool. Uh, I think that's a cool thing to think about tying that in, and so
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it leans into who we are as United Methodists and seeing the whole world as our parish and the call that we have, right? The mission and vision of making disciples, uh, right? In doing that and leaning into that call in a way that branches out far beyond ourselves and the walls of our church.
yeah. So, Zach, where have you seen God at work in your life lately?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And I don't know. I don't know that I have an answer today. Not because I haven't seen God at work, and hadn't noticed that, but I don't know. I don't. I know there's a lot of places, but I don't have one moment that has stuck out in the last few days that I could speak to. What about you?
Um, I shared with a few friends as we've been trying to get ready for this mission trip where we leave on Saturday. Um, the power of the United Methodist Connection has been in its full force for me these last like
Hmm.
24 or 48 hours. And so I jokingly sent my friend Dylan Ward a text with Garth Brooks. I've got friends in low places,
Hmm.
thanking him for his openness to receive our team after we've had to adapt because of an issue with the place we were going to. But to watch how all this is like the connection, the Methodist connection, like watching it at work has been amazing. Like it's just been,
Hmm.
it's one of those things like, wow, God, like this is amazing. Thank you, God,
Hmm.
for this. And this opportunity to get to do this. Like I'm like, it's been fun to watch.
Hmm.
And so it really has been it's been a fun way of watching this connection that we talk about so much just come into fruition and come into work. And it's just been fun. Like I just really have enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to departing on Saturday now, whereas if you asked me yesterday, I was definitely not in a good headspace to do that. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when things actually work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our connection works in its intended and hope filled way, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, just leaning into, hey, I don't have control over this, and we'll see what happens, and leave room for God to work. How that does beautiful things.
Well, and part of me kept wondering the entire time, like when things kind of fell apart yesterday, and I was like, am
Hmm.
I being arrogant in this, thinking that
Sure.
I can make this work? I've got, I have friends all over the area. Like, we're gonna make this work, or else,
Hmm.
like I asked myself, am I being really arrogant about this? And then I
Hmm.
found myself finding a sense of peace that it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. And then the other pieces started aligning well, and it just, like, everything's come into play this morning, and we're ready to, like, I just got to type out the agenda and we're ready to go.
Right.
And I always tell my mission teams the first meeting when we gather, hey, one of my things for mission trips are blessed are the flexible, for they bend. And boy, have I bent on this trip. But
Hmm.
it's been good for me. It's a good stretch for me. But I also, like, I'm excited to get to share this space with the kids, and they're going to get to experience some things that they wouldn't otherwise outside of their normal lives. And so
Hmm.
I'm excited about that, and just
Yeah.
the connections and relationships we're going to make. I'm really, really excited about that. So,
Yeah. Be good.
yeah. All right. Listeners, thank you for listening. You can go on our website at beardedtheologians.com and check out all of our past podcasts and other content that we have up there available for you. We also have a store that you can buy things for Father's Day, for pastoral transitions, for anything else that you've got going on in your life. They make great gifts. And we just are appreciative of you, our listeners. Don't forget to like us, share us, comment for us. And so, for the Bearded Theologians, I'm Matt Franks.
I'm Zach Bechtold. Thanks for checking us out.
Guys, and like this video, and push that thumbs up.
Thank you for listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on all social media outlets. You can check out old episodes and more information at beardedtheologians.com. Thanks for checking us out.